Welcome. Today I'll go over unboxing of something a little bit bigger, which will be the ASUS TUF Gaming A15 laptop. I just scoot over all that stuff. There we go. So let's get straight into it. I am gonna flip it over to the back as we do have a bit of an info right here. So this device comes with AMD R9-8945H processor, which is barely visible right here. 1 terabyte of PCIe storage, Windows 11 pre-installed, Windows 11 Home to be more precise, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 2 sticks of 8 gigs, though I'm not sure if these aren't like soldered on. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. And a bunch of like other things that we'll see in a second. So let's just get straight into it. We do have a seal to cut through, and I get to flip it over again and again. So I just push that in, little handle. Okay, in terms of like experience right here, the way you open it up, I'm gonna just kind of lift it. As you can see, it's lifted. Open this up and you have this, you know, like a flap, so it doesn't open up all the way, so it won't fall back. And here we have, you can see, kind of some kind of stickers, it looks like. Yep, I think those are stickers, and that's about it. And then presume the laptop itself. I'm gonna set it to the side for now, as I do want to see what's else in the box. You have some paperwork that fell in a little bit. There we go. Have some warranty and just general paperwork, and just get rid of that. And under that we have our charger brick itself and the cable for it. The brick has some heft to it as well. And that's basically it. So let's close that up. There we go. Yoink that to the ground, and let's whip out the laptop. One thing that I want to point out, just taking it out of the box, it doesn't feel too premium. The cover itself just feels plasticky and has a little bit of more play than I would like to it. And also some plastic creaking, though I'm not sure what is making that creaking noise sometimes. So now opening it up, I am gonna say I am a bit more pleasantly surprised with the aesthetic of it. It's not as gamery as I honestly expected. Just to showcase the front of it in my limited space right here. So here we have a 16:9 aspect ratio screen with G-Sync in there, 144 Hz refresh rate, sRGB coverage of 100%, full HD, and there is a bit of play here. So it's not necessarily the most robust computer that you'll probably hold, but you'll most likely be using mouse separately. In terms of gaming, it does feel solid right here. Your palm isn't close enough to the trackpad to be mistakenly pressing it, at least mine isn't, so that should be good enough. You're planning to turn on? Apparently you're not. Okay, so before I actually boot it up, let's take a look at the charger, which I'm about to use. So we have 240 watt charger. Jesus, that is a bit of a charge right there. So yeah, this charger delivers some serious juice right here. Let's pull up that off. There we go. It also actually says 240 watts right here. Has this nice finish. It reminds me kind of the Zephyrus kind of finish with the Matrix kind of look to it, but much smaller. And just grab the cable. Okay, so that's plugged in. Let's find an outlet. Yeah, there we go. Now, where's the charging port? Looks like it's right over here. Now, actually, before I plug it in, let's close it up and take a look at the I/O. So on our left side, we have an Ethernet port. We have our charging port, a full HDMI port, 2 USB-C, with one looks to be display as well. Then on the right side, we have just a full-size USB port as well. This one is perfect, I would say, for mice. So it's on a right-hand side for instance, things like this. You just plop it in here. So it's on the same side as the mouse, at least for me, because I am a right-handed user. So connection should be solid, just because it's not obstructed by the device itself on the other side. And why can't I seem to plug it in? There we go. So yeah, good side for the mouse users, at least right-handed ones. Now, let's grab it and plug that in. Oh, there we go, we have some lights. Well, we also have some light going on here. So you can see just the subtle lighting. Now the lighting is going all around, but because of the exposure, you can't really see it. So these buttons, if I flip it over, they are transparent on the sides right here. So the light shines, oh, there we go, we can now see it clearly. So no point explaining. And the W, A, S, and D are fully transparent. Just a bit of a darker shade, so they're not like just clear white. They have some tint to it, but you can still see clearly the switch under it, which might be hard to see on a camera, but it's there. And we have some live on the screen. Let's go. Just get rid of that, and I'm gonna plug it back into my computer. There we go. Okay, the image looks super sharp, I would say. For a full HD, this looks pretty crystal clear to me. Even though it's just a moment right now. But yeah. Now let's take. Oh, there we go. We have our Windows 11. Goodness, do I love Windows 11. So there we go. You can see it right now. Now there is no touch display right here. If you're wondering, this is not touch surface. Like I mentioned before, it is G-Sync compatible, so that's pretty good.
To set up your device using a screen reader, turn on narrator by pressing Windows and Control and Enter.
How about just
for more
shush?
accessibility features?
There we go. Okay, now next thing to talk about is the internals. So the device comes with a AMD Ryzen 9 8945HS processor. It is up to 5.2 gigahertz hexa core. It also has a NVIDIA GPU in here, and that would be at least this specific model comes with a 4060. Now, I do want to point out there are other versions of this specific model which come with 4050 and 4070 as well, I believe. And this specific 4060 that is in here is a 4 GB of RAM, or VRAM. The RAM itself here is at 16 gigabytes and 1 terabyte of SSD storage. And that's basically all the worth mentioning info right here. Now, it's ASUS, so we do have pretty good ventilation at the back, which for gaming, obviously that will be pretty important. So there we go. There is no lift up anywhere, anything like that. For comparison where you have a Zephyrus, when you open it up, it just props the device up and gives it a bit more room to breathe from like underneath. Nothing happening like that here. Another thing is the trackpad right here is pretty big, as you can see. so just my hand for comparison. So this is a plenty of space for you to just move around, and that is obviously going to be a pretty nice thing when you're not using a dedicated mouse for this. Now, in terms of the buttons, they do have some travel to them, but obviously there are scissor switches right here which can see through the WASD. Other than that, I'm kind of looking at the layout right here, because this is not a normal layout. So you can see, for instance, buttons like 2 have a, what do you call it, asterisk right here. Well, normally you would have a the @ symbol. 4 is correct, for instance. 5 is as well. 6 uses AND, where AND should have been on 7. So we do have different keyboard. Now under M we have also the I think this is a Greek M kind of, or sounding one. And we have some weird looking O right here. So yeah, we have a bit of weirdness happening on the keyboard. So this is not a traditional like keyboard that you would see in US. Now, in terms of button layouts, we do have up-down buttons right here. We have some function buttons right here as well, along with a dedicated escape button. Some more logically placed buttons right here. There's this is not logically placed, like this is just insane placement for a pound symbol. So that might mess up some people when they are used to just the bigger size enter key, as you have a separate button on here. Additionally, we have some more weirdness happening here. Instead of having a full-size shift, we have the shift shortened, and we have the 2 different symbols right here. So that will probably mess up some other people that are just used to pressing the shift like right at the edge. So that might take some getting used to. Spacebar also is shortened, as you can see, and the buttons here, the up, down, left and right arrows, seem like they're taking a little bit too much space. You're a bit too comfortable for the STRG button, which typically that should have been, I believe, control button right here. And we also have function button right here, Windows, so that's typical, another STRG. So we have, instead of control, it just has this weird thing. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, not much more to say. It's a typical laptop, so I'm not going to go into the OS, but I did want to touch upon the build quality right here, and which I did, and the keyboard layout, which will be one of the more important things considering you use that quite often. And like I said, keyboard layout right here is a bit wonky. So there we go. Anyway, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.